What's up, everybody? I'm Michael Chris, 3 years running bestseller at ShineOn. Now I'm the CMO of ShineOn. I wanted to thank you so much for checking out our YouTube video. And if you like this kind of content, I want you to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I hope you enjoy the video. I want to know what everybody else has to say about it. So you guys have been here. You've been taking notes because you're amazing students. I know you've watched all of our previous Coffee with Michaels. I know that you know how to do these message cards like the back of your hand. So in the comments below, we're looking for constructive criticism here, right? I don't want negativity. I don't want any, let's go easy on people. We're all trying to learn here. Let's get some constructive criticism in the comments for this. I'm going to go ahead and read it. You guys start typing up what you think about this one and what we can do to improve it. So looks like it's kind of got this pastel yellow with the flower decals all over the place. To my mom, this is the Love Knot jewelry item, by the way. From the time I took my first breath up until this very day, you have gently lit my way like an angel. Always put me first for everything you do, coloring my days with fairy tales and sweet dream nights. I am grateful your arms are always open to comfort me when my feelings hurt. You are so special, a gift from above. Love, your daughter. All right, let's see what you guys have to say about it. So I'm going to read through the comments and we'll feature some that I think are on the mark. All you Facebook users out there, hit streamyard.com/Facebook and allow it to see your name because we've got a ton of people here that I have no clue who you are. So the phrase is too long, says one Facebook user. Maybe. It's definitely on the longer side. I agree with you there. I think the problem is it's just you can't read it. I think if it was bigger and larger, it is actually it's a little too long. But I think if it was bigger and larger, it would kind of minimize that effect. So no, I think you're on the money there. Good point. Text is small and cramped. Totally agree with you. It's being squeezed in between these decals, which aren't adding to it. And by the way, Kirsten and Zappy, if you have something to add here, feel free to jump in. Hard to read the phrase. Yep. Everybody, you're focusing on the phrase. Great job to you. You're definitely paying attention here. So we love that. Too many different kinds of flowers and colors. Messaging too small. Yeah, I do. I totally agree with that, actually. This is different than this, which is a little weird because it starts to break symmetry, right? You've got symmetry up here and you have symmetry up here, but then it gets broken down here. And, that creates a distraction. It draws your eye. Your brain sees that, and it's starting to puzzle that out and trying to break it apart. So, yeah, I agree. That's a problem. Let's see.
Yeah, I think what another thing when we're talking about different kinds of flowers, uh, you're kind of like this is when I was talking about objections from the buyers. So you have to find people that like these flowers, right? So when it's showing to the large audience, some people might like sunflowers or different flowers. So you kind of have to cater to the buyer's flower preferences as well. So that's a thing where you're limiting the amount of people that can potentially buy it. And then in the middle of funnel, you can try different flowers. You can try red roses, sunflowers, and see which one works. And then you can try and bump that up to the top and see if it converts well in cold traffic. So that's basically my thoughts on like the flowers when you do them in designs. And yeah, just stick to one. Like it's got the good idea at the top, but then we're going everywhere else at the bottom.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. I will say Love Knot is not necessarily a bad piece if you're gonna have some flowers. It at least kind of complements in terms of shape. So it's not incredibly distracting. Michelle says hard to see phrase, flowers too big. Yep, agree with you. I think you're doing a great job because everybody's picking up on that. Love Knot doesn't pop out against pastel. Yeah, that's probably true. I mean, there's no the how would you put it? You lose some drama. Drama is going to raise the perceived value of a product, right? So, and you can get drama, you can achieve that effect through contrast, which is why, this particular mock-up tends to do pretty well. It's dramatic, it feels more expensive. And yeah, I think having the love knot dropped against this, which is already kind of white, it's a lighter color on the value spectrum. Dropping it right against this yellow kind of pastel, I don't think that works. So I think you're on the money there. Or at least it could be improved is probably a better way to put that. Let's see. I'm trying to see if we have any other comments here that are different. Contrast is missing. Yeah, we just kind of covered that. Leading space between the lines is too tight. Yeah, I would agree with that. So what Jeff is saying here is the space in between these lines is really tight. So look, it's a little hard to know if that's actually the issue or if the phrase is just so small, because the leading space between the lines, I believe, scales proportionally with the phrase. So if the text were larger, I would imagine that spacing would be different. But either way, I agree with you. It's too cramped. It's too difficult. It's very difficult to kind of read this. All right, I'm just going to quickly look to see if anybody has anything unique or different to say about this one. If not, I think we're going to move on.
Yeah, so sometimes you can take some phrase like this and just shorten it up. Take that first line is kind of what I started doing there. It's a little bit off screen, I see, but let me start. You get to the end of writing something out, and you're thinking, "Oh, gee, this maybe it's too much." You can simplify it. So from the time I took my first breath up until this very day, you have gently lit my way like an angel. And so I just wrote something like, from my first breath, you have gently lit my way like an angel. Or, not a lot shorter, but it still tightens that up a little bit. Sometimes less is more. A lot of times with phrases, just depends. So that's one way you could technically go through each line and kind of tighten some things up or just remove a sentence or here or there. What's that?
I completely forgot to mention when it comes to the phrase, again, I think we've got some English issues or something going on, because let's just read it one last time, and then I think we'll wrap this up. From the time I took my first breath up until this very day, that kind of works, even though it's a mouthful. You've gently lit my way like an angel. You have an opportunity to rhyme there that was passed, and rhyming will help with the flow of a message any day, and it can also help increase the emotional resonance. Always. This is where the English starts to break down. Always put me first for everything you do. Yeah. There's some words missing there. That doesn't flow. I think maybe what you're saying is you always put me first in everything you do. There's some problems there that need to get worked out. Coloring my days with fairy tales and sweet dream nights. Okay, that's a little flowery, the language, and it could work. But given the other issue that we just came across, it makes me think there's some English stuff here. And here's what I mean. Coloring my days with fairy tales. It's flowery. There's nothing like actually broken there, but it's an odd use of language. Coloring my days with fairy tales. This would literally be the first time I've ever heard somebody kind of describe that. And then it says, and sweet dream nights. So again, it's flowery. There's no like actual laws being broken here, but it's an odd turn of phrase that we haven't heard before, right? And especially since we just tripped over this, always put me first for everything you do, it feels more like something kind of falling down in the use of English, and less like this is like an intentional use of prose, if that makes sense. I'm grateful your arms are always open to comfort me when my feelings hurt. So I think what you're trying to say there is when my feelings are hurt. That would be a turn of phrase that we're used to hearing. But when my feelings hurt makes it feel like, again, something in the English is falling down here. You were so special, a gift from above. That's probably okay and can work. But so I think that the phrase itself, even this, aside from everything else we've added here, probably needs a little bit of work. All right. That's all I have for this. I think we moved to wrap this up. Zappy, Kirsta, do you have any final thoughts you want to throw at this thing before we move on?
I think we've covered it.
Yeah, I think we've okay, got it. We beat
We
this
done
one
did
to
it.
death. Hey, Michael here again. Thank you so much for checking out today's video. If you liked the content, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And there's one more thing I want you to do. Check out the links in the description below. I want you to look at the link to ShineOn.com where you can sign up and become a seller with us today. It literally takes 60 seconds and it could change your life. Secondly, I want you to go to our Facebook group. It's the most engaged e-commerce group on the planet. We're constantly sharing important tips, tricks, and things like that that can help you on your seller journey and level up your e-commerce game. Thank you so much for watching the video, and I hope you have a great one. Take care.